What's up, non-binary family? It's your favorite Antico Yali. Once again, today I have a topic that I want to talk about that's maybe a little controversial. Ooh, this is how I get the clicks, right? Now I just wanted to talk about the weird sort of monoculture that I've been seeing emerging among especially like younger or like recently out trans girls, of which I am one of them. And in some ways I've adopted some of these things, and in some ways I have not. And of course we're gonna be doing makeup once again. I still have my same couple of palettes. Please comment and subscribe so I could get sponsors, so I could buy more makeup. I got a comment that this is not doing it. I would love to get something new that does it, so get me that ad revenue. That'd be cool. Yeah, so we're gonna start same with our little color correcting, as if my face isn't already perfect. So, okay, so this came out in some talks that I was having with some friends, kind of about the sort of puppy girls, basically. Basically, we're talking about puppy girls today. That's like the launching off point. And it's kind of this whole thing where, well, this was like a really big thing that I sort of figured out when I was kind of coming back from being a trans girl to being non-binary, was that I had been living my life in such a way that led me to discovering and resonating with these kind of terms of like non-binary and trans femininity. And that was really cool. But I kind of did this thing where I was like, okay, here's me. I'm already doing this stuff. Oh, I found out about trans and non-binary. But then being trans and non-binary seems to mean all these things, especially like, I mean, yeah, it was the pandemic, so we were all on the internet. I was like really on Twitter a lot, just seeing all these like trans girl accounts popping up. And then I was like, oh, okay, so that's how you be trans. And so if I want to be trans, I have to become that thing. But I already was that thing, or else I wouldn't have gotten to trans. So that really kind of messed me up. And that's like, that's for me. That's my non-binary thing. Not saying anyone, this is not saying that anyone is doing trans wrong. Just saying that I think you're doing it wrong. Just kidding. You're valid. Oh my God, you're so valid. Oh man, today I'm talking shit. But yeah, basically like this idea of like, you know, it's like, oh, you come out as trans and you're like trying to figure out like largely on the internet through those communities, because there like aren't that many trans people in real life. They're like hard to find, you know, we don't have a lot of like great community meeting places. It still is like pretty dangerous for a lot of us, probably most of us out there in most of the world. So we go online and we find out what it means to be trans and what other trans people are doing. And then you get this sort of flattening of the culture where like every trans girl has that blahage, you know, that little shark toy from IKEA, and everyone's got like the socks and the little like, I don't know, tennis skirt or whatever. And everyone is like a puppy girl, and everyone, I don't know, there's just like a lot of stuff that's like very in common. A lot of it also is like very like sexual. It's like this idea that like because we're trans we all have like, I don't know, mommy issues or like a degradation kink or like, and you know, a lot of people do. I'm not gonna comment on myself. That's my private life, and we don't know each other unless you're one of my friends who's watching this. Hi. But so it like, and then I found that it creates this like sort of unearned familiarity, which like I will admit I've totally been guilty of, like going up to like another trans girl and like just based on the fact that she's trans, kind of just sort of assuming it's like, oh, like I already kind of know who you are, I know what you're about, like this and that, you know, like I can just talk to you about like sex and drugs. And it's like, oh, those are actually like some pretty sensitive topics. Not everyone has like the same relationship with, and it can be very weird. Even if we did have the same relationship with it, that's just kind of weird to go up and start talking to a stranger about drugs and stuff as if you already been known them. So yeah, that's just one example. And gosh, we're just kind of trying the same makeup stuff, because I've been trying this the last couple of days and it's looked like pretty good, but like something has been a little bit off. I feel like once I get a proper blush color, although I already feel like today it looks better because I did less of it. Ta-da! And like that nose bronzer, pretty good, right? So yeah. And you know, this thing I've been talking about, especially with some of my trans girlfriends who are like a little bit older, not like old, but like late 20s and older than that, talking about how like there's this sort of like difference between like trans girlhood and trans womanhood. Kind of like I was talking about the other day, like the differences between the gender of boy and girl and man and woman. And I think that there's a lot of really interesting ground there. Ooh, by the way, what colors are we gonna do? I kind of, since I'm doing purple, kind of want to go green to contrast. Okay, we're gonna do this green first. Oh, and then maybe some of this green. Actually, we're gonna do this green first because we go light to dark, remember. So yeah, talking about it with some of my like older trans friends about, yeah, like this new crop of trans girls, or just like recent crop where it's like, what am I trying to say about it? There's just like this certain, well, I don't know, being a girl is cool, being a girl is fun, but it's like, what about being a woman? You know, and it's like, how you can only be a puppy girl for so long. And like, you know, not to like dog on being a puppy girl, like it's pretty fun. You know, there's a reason that we do it. And like, I don't know, should I get into the reasons that we do it? I mean, I think that the reasons are pretty interesting and pretty compelling. You know, a lot of us get into that. Like, this kind of bridges with, I wanted to kind of hold off on the gender and desire video, because that is like a whole big topic that I kind of want to be a little bit more thoughtful about, maybe actually write some stuff down instead of going off the cuff as I've been, which has been very fun. Let me know, do y'all like these off the cuff videos? Should it be shorter? I feel like these are pretty long. I can be pretty rambly, and I don't know who's listening to the whole thing. So anyways, yeah, like as growing up as a boy, you know, there's all this sort of like certain like social pressures, especially like within dating, pressures and assumptions that you just are gonna be the sort of like the aggressive one, the one to like make the first moves and all that, and yeah, and like be sexually aggressive. And then it's like, you know, a lot of us, I don't know about this green, y'all. Well, good thing we got other greens. We're gonna try to just go over it. Oh, I didn't do the eyeliner there, or the highlighter. We'll get there. So yeah, it's like there's this sort of assumption that we're gonna be all those things, and then that's like, you know, a source of dysphoria for a lot of us, because it's just like, you know, I'm wanting to connect with like women, but these women are expecting me to do these things that really don't feel good to me, but you know, I want to connect, so I'm gonna do the things anyways. And you know, not just like in the bedroom, but also just like in life, you kind of are expected to like take charge in all of these ways. Ooh, this green is better. Yay. Ooh, you know, we might go crazy. Honestly, I'm just gonna have fun with it. We're gonna do some under eye and just see how this turns out. Whoa. Yeah, and then so then like, you know, you realize you're a girl and start transitioning, and you're just like, oh, I don't have to be the one like taking complete charge. But then it's like you kind of go opposite, and you're just like, oh, I want to have like no responsibilities, no thoughts. Like I've had to be too in my head for too long. Give me some freedom from this. This looks kind of silly, but like whatever, we're rocking with it. Yay. And so yeah, and so then you get a lot of puppy girls, or like, you know, girls just, you know, I feel like this is like sort of similar to when we get the like, where's the top shortage coming from? And it's like, well, you know, maybe it's okay to take a little bit of charge. It doesn't have to mean that you're like topping, but like you're allowed to be assertive. You're allowed to like ask for what you want in bed. I think even more than allowed, you're kind of you really should be voicing what you want. I feel like that kind of got us off topic a little bit, because I was just talking about the flattening of the culture. So that was my little diatribe onto puppy girls, which I think I will get more into that in like the desire episode whenever we get there. But I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But yeah, maybe let's get back to the culture and yeah, this sort of, I've seen some people talk about being like glad that they started transitioning before they met any other trans people in real life or on the internet, because it let them just kind of like figure out, you know, it's not, I just saw this tweet the other day. It was talking about like the asking yourself the question, do I want to be trans, is like a crazy question, but asking yourself, do I want to be a woman, much easier question. This is what the tweet said anyways. I think I said this yesterday. I think ask do I want to be a woman is also a difficult question, but maybe that's just me because I'm non-binary. Did you know I'm non-binary? Did you know I use they them pronouns? Get with the program, ma'am or sir or whatever you are. Oh man, being gay is so fun. Being gay is fun because you get to make a bunch of cool jokes. I don't know what color to use now. I don't really like this under eye thing, but we're gonna rock with it. And I think we just need to do a little bit of this same color like on top, or maybe add a little bit of green underneath. We're gonna try something. Excuse me. We're gonna try something. We're gonna put this up here. Yeah, we will blend that in. Why not? Why not? It's gonna be kind of subtle. It's gonna be kind of blunt. Yeah, but you know, and I kind of really resonate with that, is like, you know, even though, yeah, I don't think that I could have come out if it weren't for other trans people existing and like just showing me that it was possible. It would be kind of cool, and it is kind of what I feel like is like been my tip recently. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Okay, but I think I need to do that with the other finger to get it symmetrical. Ooh, how fun. Okay, this is what I wanted to get back to, was my makeup that I do with my crazy style. Anti-style, fuck your makeup rules, we do it how we do it. That might be the thumbnail. Good pick. Oh my God, I hope that's not too loud outside. Shh, please. I'm trying to record my vlog. How will I ever record my vlog with this horrid noise? Okay, we're gonna try this this eye mascara that supposedly doesn't work anymore. Well, yeah, but kind of what I've been on lately, and like, you know, is kind of like not really trying to be like a woman in the way that like I see a lot of other trans girls doing, which I feel like is what I was trying to do before. But you know, these other trans girls that you like see a lot, well, I guess, no, come on, that's totally working. Like, yeah, it's not thick, but it's doing something. A lot of the trans girls that you see making it big on the internet, at least on Twitter, is skinny white girls with straight hair. This has been a huge rule for myself. That's so loud. I really hope that the video is not picking that up too much. My rules for myself: don't compare myself to trans girls who are really skinny. Like, a lot of trans girls have eating disorders. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm not gonna really cast judgment because like that's your life, and I understand. I understand that there are a lot of pressures on women to look a certain way, and that's really messed up thing about society. And I don't fault anyone for being like a member of the society that they live in. But I'm not comparing myself to you because I love food, and whatever. I've got my cute little tummy, and that's fine. I don't compare myself to girls with straight hair. Did I already say that? I don't compare myself to blondes. Are you kidding me? And it's like, it really has been like this sort of, I've just been trying to figure out, you know, what does femininity mean to me? How do I, Yali, want to embody it? Not how do I want to fit in to this broader trans community. Or I mean, I do want to fit in, but yeah, I guess to the broad trans community. They call it that because we're all broads. They call them broads because their shoulders broad. They call it Broadway because that's where all the trans girls walk. Yeah, so just like kind of trying to figure out my own ways. You know, something I thought about was like, you know, I'm 29. I started transitioning when I was like 26 or 7 or something, medically transitioning anyways, and like really trying to like socially transition. And, you know, now I am in my like in between of that, which is kind of weird. It's like, I don't want people to see me as a man. I kind of want them to see me as a woman, but like not exactly. I don't know. Being non-binary is still very confusing, and that's part of why this channel exists. Yeah, this idea of like, it's not like figuring out how do I want to dress as a woman now based off how I've dressed my whole life. Like, it's kind of that, but it's like this like thought experiment of like, if I was born as a cis girl, like what would all of my like clothing and like fashion journeys and like different styles and stuff been? And then trying to figure out where does that lead me to now. So that leads to a lot of very silly outfits. It's also like, I'm big. It's hard to find feminine clothes that fit my body. Finding nice clothes costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. I've got a lot of clothes that I do like a lot. I've got a lot of clothes that I wear and I feel kind of weird in. We're working on it. But yeah, you know, I feel like I was trying to fit into this like very kind of like traditional high femme thing that I think a lot of like pretty newly out trans girls kind of fall into or like try to do, which is like, again, it's like fine, but it's just not me. But yeah, like trying to figure out what's my way. And my way would be, I think about it a lot. I'm like, if I was born a girl, I probably would have been like a tomboy, maybe even a trans boy, something like that. Or like, you know, like a punky girl or a skater girl who does dress kind of like androgynous and kind of like tough and badass. But usually when I do dress that way, which I do pretty often, like that's almost when I feel like I embody my masculinity in the coolest way. And it does, something that's really funny is that like, especially since transitioning, dressing like a boy feels like drag. And that is a very funny kind of like, I don't know, way to feel about it. And it's like, oh yeah, like I'm putting on my boy outfit, and then everyone's gonna be like, ha ha ha, look at that silly boy, man. And yeah, it doesn't really feel like, oh yeah, like this is who I am, and it's like da 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 da. Like it really does feel like I'm doing a character. I've been really loving doing these videos so far. It's like a really good excuse to practice makeup, practice thinking about my thoughts, and I don't know, practice like embodying something, some very real parts of myself. Yeah, I think that's like about all that I have to say today. Okay, because we got to do the angles at the end. I'm going to pause this right now, finish up my eyeliner, do some other cool lines. You'll see my anti-style, and then I'll see you in a second over by the window. Ooh, I feel like a cheetah or something. The under eye is really intense. I never do that, I swear. I kind of, I just tried it out. Anyways, there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about while we do angles. Is within that monoculture that we've been talking about, is this sort of idea that I feel like I encounter sometimes with people who are already out, whether they're newly out or been for a long time, is that like when you kind of have this inkling and you tell them it's like, oh, I think I might be trans, I'm having some like gender-y thoughts, is like they almost want to like, you should be trans right now. You gotta go. And it's, I really understand where it comes from. My dears who are just like, oh, you know, I felt really similar to that too. And then I like transitioned, and like, you shouldn't put it off. You should just do it, because then like you'll be happier and you'll be able to start living your life. And, you know, I'm not necessarily gonna say that they're wrong in a lot of cases, but non-binary exists. Non-binary exists. I want you all to repeat this. If you could all go comment in the comments, non-binary exists, that would be huge for me, because I kind of said this in the little mini video that preceded this whole thing, but I love embodying femininity and I love embodying masculinity. I love having long hair and I love having a beard and I love having muscles and I love having curves. And bearded ladies exist, and I think that they shouldn't just be in Ripley's Believe It or Not. What about Ripley's Believe It, huh? What about Ripley's Believe It? Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.